Hi, my name is Rina, and I wrote this letter because I wanted it to be a motivation for myself and other job seekers out there. I know it's really tough right now. Companies are restructuring, so job seekers also need to restructure and revamp themselves. And then with this letter, I approached Martin, who took a great creative spin on this. Martin?
Yeah, Rina asked me if I could visualize her reading a letter in some kind of way. And then I went and looked into it a little bit, and then of course I found Benedict Cumberbatch reading letters out loud, and I was like, lo and behold, obviously this has already been invented. So I had to do something a little different, but I was very inspired by Letters Live and about the initiative for the hashtag Read a Letter. So I asked Rina if we could do it for that, because it was very inspirational for me to see how letters have come to life with this initiative. So we very much hope that you like our little contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Rina, I know it's tough right now. The pandemic has affected the world, and over 11 million people have lost their jobs. Nearly 233,000 people have died. Your family and friends are far away, and you worry about them every day. If they are okay, if they're healthy, if they lost their jobs. Plus, social distancing is terrible. Companies are laying off people, and it's harder now than ever to find a job. You hear another person getting laid off, you hear another company has gone bankrupt, as you send applications, each toward an unknown gamble.
Dear Rina, I know it's tough right now.
As you send applications, each toward an unknown gamble, each with a piece of hope. They don't respond. They take down their posts, or worst of all, they don't answer. The silence is unbearable, and your motivation is running thin. You want to blame it on Corona, and I know you want to binge on chips and watch your favorite series. It's tempting. Oh, so tempting. But just hear me out.
As someone who loves and supports you during this time. Recheck your situation. Are you a single person? Having a roof over your head? Yes. Do you have children depending on you? No. You are not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. Do you have time? If yes, then you are in a luxury to be revamping yourself for 2020. Facts. Corona is not an excuse. It is affecting everyone. Corona is a pandemic and will be over before we know it. Your job situation is still your job situation. Pre, during, and post. You know it starts with you, and Corona won't change that. The clock has stopped temporarily, and that means it's time to catch up. It is time to ask the questions that were inevitable and do the things we have to do sooner or later. You might be going through a realization that some jobs can't be done normally or not at all during a pandemic. You question whether you've made the right career choice, or should have signed up for computer science instead, or developed software. Maybe invested in Apple or Zoom. Man, that would have been great. Governments and organizations are offering financial aid to companies to reduce losses. But what about us? Companies are restructuring, meaning job seekers like me have to restructure, rethink, and revamp ourselves. For the first time, the clock has stopped globally. So ask, what can I do to make the most out of the quarantine? It begs us to ask questions that are challenging. The job I had, how do I feel not having it? If I do not have a job currently, what can I learn from this to ensure I can adapt to changes in the future?
Would I still like to do this job post-coronavirus lockdown? Did it make me happy? If not, what would I rather be doing? What skills would I want to get? What do I need to do now to get them?
Here's a message. For you as a job seeker, the game hasn't changed. It just reached level 2. So what do we do now? And even though you don't have job insurance or full-time paying job just yet, you know it will come. There are jobs. Keep going. I know right now coronavirus is hitting us, and some may take this time to catch up with loved ones, friends, and even on all the TV shows. Good. Know your values and what is important to you. But this is also a time to learn something new and reinvent yourself. When the pandemic passes, you should be in the front of the line and not in the back. Corona is, in retrospect, a way to check your own job situation and check if what you know is true. Once the ban or lockdown lifts, it's time to run. Imagine you are at a race with your past self. Maybe you weren't even on the starting line. When the ban lifts, where will you be? Are you ready?
P.S. You are not alone, and I believe in you. With love, Rina.